Page 45, Everlasting God. 4/4 time, C major, no sharps or flats. There's just a lot of eighth notes in here. In the right hand at the beginning, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Not a problem. Second line, when it starts, it's 1 and 2. Watch that tie, hang on to that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 type thing. The left note's going to play something in that tie, but the right note, the right hand's got to stay down. Over on page 46, second line, you're here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you're playing on the ands again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Third line down, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So they give you a 2/4 bar in the middle of that. Don't let it throw you. The beat stays the same. The quarter notes stay the same. You just have to count to 2 in that one bar is all. So that third line, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah. Last line, second, where the chorus starts there, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Just what's the counting? Top of page 47. In the second measure, I recommend a 1, 2, 4 on the first chord. It just, in my mind, it makes it easier to go to the next chord. I want to feel that. There's nothing wrong with 1, 3, 1, 2, 5, but I like here. I mean, you can do the same at the bottom of page 46 if you wanted to. For the F, A, D, for the second one, change it to a 4 here, and then you're in position to go up. If you want, that's fine. Over on page 47, second line, you're here. 1 and 2. And then you get some more of that going on down. Let's add the left hand, see what happens. Left hand's got to be soft throughout. At the beginning, 1 and 2 and 3 and like so. Hopefully it's just quarter notes and half notes, a few eighth notes thrown in. But then when you get over to page 46 in the second line, the left hand sort of has the same rhythm as the right hand, sort of. At the beginning there on the second line, you're here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and you just have a couple extra eighth notes thrown in there for good measure. Oh, you're going to love that. Third line down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3. Watch the fingering. That's pretty much the trickiest part for the left hand. Put the hands together at the beginning. Does that again. Over on page 46, second line, you're here. 1 and 2 and 3. See that both hands are playing the same rhythm on this and stuff. It's just here at the beginning of it, the left hand has a couple extra eighth notes. But once you play that, the two hands are together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3. Now here, the last two measures on page 46. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. See, the left hand hand plays on 1, the right hand is tied. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Third line down on page 47. Same as it was at the bottom of page 46. Dynamic wise, you decide eventually. They're suggesting sort of a medium loud. Now that's really for the melody. At the beginning, this is introduction. You can bring out the top note in the and then, in my mind, I prefer the introduction to be a little softer because I want to know when the song actually starts. And it starts at the second line. So this, that should be medium loud, and everything that happened prior is just preparing for this. So I don't want to, I wouldn't play this more than a medium soft. To set it, and then in the second line, then you can come up. So protect the melody. We get over to page 46 in the second line. You're here. If you can, bring out the top note in the right hand. That's what we want to hear. And then at the bottom, you're going to crescendo up to a loud for the chorus. That's the top note in the right hand. Everything else is at medium loud at the most. Staying loud pretty much to the end, and then at the bottom you retard it a little bit. But you stay loud, you don't get softer. Last note, I'm going to hold that 4 counts instead of 2 for the metronome. We need the pedal to help smooth this out because this isn't really piano music. This is an arrangement. And the pedal helps us out on this a lot. Basically, I'm going to pedal it every measure, except I don't want to blur up these eighth notes. So I have to adjust it for that. So at the beginning, pedal comes after the notes. Change. 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 Now, you have a choice here in the second line, in the second measure. You can change it every 2 beats. Or don't pedal the last 2 beats in each of those measures. On the effect. Maybe one time you'll play it one way and another time you'll play it another. It depends. So I'm going to go ahead and change it every 2 beats here and blur it up a little bit because this is a rather happy song. I don't know how fast you can sing it, but it's a happy song, so we can handle a little bit of blurriness when it's faster. But when I get over to page 46 in that second line with these chords, I'm going to pedal with each chord. All that strung together, so I'm going to pedal with each chord there, and I'm going to play the note first and then change the pedal. And at the bottom of the page, lift up on that last beat of that first measure. Don't pedal that. So the last line on page 46 is here. Now here, the last two measures I'm pedaling with the chords in the right hand. When that changes chords, I change the pedal. Now at the top of page 47, second measure, I'm pedaling every 2 beats pretty much. This second line, last measure, I'm not pedaling those eighth notes. And again, I'm pedaling with the chords in the right hand in the third line. In the second measure, it's every 2 beats, by the way. Bottom, the last 2 measures, I'm not pedaling those eighth notes in the left hand, so it's there. So really, for the most part, it's every 2 beats, except sometimes you have to pedal with those chords so they don't get blurry. Now just a little bit about pedaling, because pedaling really is kind of a personal thing, but it kind of also depends on how fast you're going. For instance, on page 45, when I have all these eighth notes, well, if I'm going really slow and I try and pedal every 2 beats, it's very mushy. Starting with the second measure of the second line, it's here. It's like, ugh. But if you speed that up a little bit, it's not quite so bad. It's tolerable. So a lot of times in the play with me's, I'll suggest certain pedaling, but that's based on the speed it should go. And it doesn't sound all that great in the play with me, but when you speed it up, it's not quite so bad. If I were going to play this really slow, I wouldn't pedal it at all. It's real simple and slow, but if I'm going to speed it up, those overtones help to add a little bit. So you have to learn to listen very carefully to the overtones produced and the effect that pedal has on sound overall when you start deciding what pedaling you want to use. Let's do a play with me on this really, really slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm going to do page 45, and then I'm going to stop and turn the page, and then we'll do pages 46 and 47. I'm not going to do any dynamics. You'll have to learn the piece and then kind of start feeling these dynamics. So I'll give us 4 counts. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and... Turn the page. 1, 2, ready and go, and... and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 2 1 and 2 and 3